Ancient civilizations worldwide flourished, each with distinct achievements. Evaluating their greatness requires multiple criteria: cultural impact, technological advancement, governance, military power, societal organization, territorial reach, and legacy. This analysis compares key civilizations: Mesopotamia, Egypt, Indus Valley, ancient China, Shang and Zhou, Greece, Persia, Rome, Olmec, and Maya, evaluating their accomplishments. Though subjective, such comparisons offer insight into their unique strengths and lasting global impact. Mesopotamia, in the Tigris-Euphrates Valley's Fertile Crescent, is the cradle of civilization. Here, first cities, writing, and pioneering technologies emerged. Cultural milestones included earliest literature, formal law codes, and monumental ziggurats, religious/civic centers. Mesopotamian art, mythology, and cuneiform writing influenced the Near East. Cuneiform, adopted by neighbors, enabled record-keeping and literature. Mesopotamia introduced fundamental inventions. Sumerians devised the wheel, sailboat, bronze tools and weapons, and advanced mathematics and astronomy. They engineered irrigation canals for agriculture and developed complex urban infrastructures. Societies employed early bureaucracies and administrative record-keeping. Clay tablets, example Uruk, documented inventories and astronomical observations. Early Mesopotamia comprised independent city-states before evolving into larger empires. Sargon of Akkad created the world's first empire by uniting Mesopotamian cities. Hammurabi's Babylonian code established justice and punishment principles. Assyrians forged a vast empire across Mesopotamia and the Levant with a fearsome military, iron, chariots, siege engines, brutal tactics, and efficient administration. Mesopotamia was highly stratified. Kings/priests, divine intermediaries, merchants, artisans, farmers, and slaves. Mesopotamia's first urban societies, Uruk, Babylon, fostered specialization and intellectual advancements. Its innovations endured beyond political entities, profoundly influencing subsequent Middle Eastern and global cultures. Mesopotamia holds unique foundational importance as the origin of the first cities, writing system, and early technologies. These groundbreaking achievements laid the foundation for subsequent civilizations, with cultural and technological inventions spreading widely. Although Mesopotamian empires rose and fell, the region's profound and collective impact on governance, record-keeping, and urban life permanently shaped human history. Ancient Egypt, flourishing along the Nile from 3100 BCE, was a long-lived civilization of nearly 3 millennia, renowned for its stability, monumental architecture, and rich culture. Culturally, Egypt's impact is seen in its art, mythology, and monumental architecture. Massive pyramids and temples, like those at Giza, inspired designers for millennia. Their construction showcased strong state organization, demanding centralized bureaucracy and efficient resource mobilization. They became enduring symbols, influencing modern architecture. Technologically, ancient Egypt was innovative, developing hieroglyphic writing for record-keeping and literature. They pioneered medicine and engineering. The Edwin Smith Papyrus reveals advanced anatomical and surgical knowledge, making Egyptian physicians renowned across the ancient Mediterranean. Egypt invented papyrus, black ink, the 365-day calendar, early clocks, toothbrushes, toothpaste, and breath mint precursors. In agriculture, they managed the Nile's inundation with irrigation and basin farming. Engineering enabled transport and placement of enormous stone blocks in pyramids and temples. This extraordinary command of science and technology applied from monuments to cosmetics. Egyptian governance featured a centralized monarchy, with the pharaoh as divine ruler. A sophisticated bureaucracy of scribes and officials administered the kingdom, handling taxation and large state projects. Marshalling tens of thousands of workers for pyramid construction evidenced advanced administration. Unlike Mesopotamia's shifting city-states, Egypt was usually unified, contributing to its stability. Society was hierarchical, but there was some social mobility. Centered on the afterlife, Egyptian religion led to elaborate burial practices and tomb construction, which advanced chemistry and anatomy. Mummification provided specialists with anatomical knowledge that informed Greek and Roman medicine. Egypt was not aggressively expansionist, but during the New Kingdom, its formidable chariot armies and archers conquered Nubia and the Levant. Egyptian forces clashed with the Hittites at Kadesh and later the Sea Peoples. However, Egypt's strength lay more in endurance and cultural influence than sustained imperial conquest, with insulated borders allowing long peace and prosperity. Ancient Egypt's enduring legacy influenced neighbors. Its art and architecture, including the pyramid, were adopted by later civilizations and still impact modern design. Preserved writings and artifacts offer scholars unparalleled insight, establishing Egyptology as a major field. Ancient Egypt, renowned for its architectural wonders, stable governance, and rich culture, left a lasting mark on world civilization. Pyramids and temples symbolize ancient achievement, enabled by centralized rule and skill. They advanced writing, medicine, engineering, and timekeeping. Their art, architecture, and governance concepts influenced the Mediterranean for centuries. Few civilizations match Egypt's longevity, monumentality, and legacy. The Indus Valley, Harappan civilization, spanned much of modern Pakistan and northwest India. At its height, the most widespread early Old World civilization, it covered 1 million square kilometers with over 1,000 settlements. Major centers like Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa housed 30,000, 60,000 people each, remarkable Bronze Age urban scale. Indus cities excelled in meticulous urban planning and sanitation. Grid-like street layouts and standardized fired brick buildings indicated impressive civic planning. Engineers created one of the world's earliest drainage and sewer systems, connecting house baths and drains to covered street sewers. This public health infrastructure was unparalleled in the ancient world, unmatched for millennia. Culturally, the Indus people developed a unique, undeciphered writing system, leaving their society enigmatic. However, archaeological evidence, standardized weights, uniform layouts, similar artifacts, suggests a highly integrated, organized society. The Indus civilization maintained a prosperous trade economy, exchanging cotton, beads, and crafts over land and sea to Mesopotamia, Meluhha in their records. Extensive networks with Central Asia, the Iranian Plateau, and the Persian Gulf supplied raw materials like lapis lazuli and copper. The Indus people mastered practical engineering and craftsmanship, building multi-story structures, sophisticated granaries, and earliest known docks. They produced finely crafted items like ornaments, pottery, and seals, also mastering metallurgy, copper, bronze, lead, tin. Artifact uniformity and consistent weights across distant sites suggest standardization, implying central authority or strong cultural cohesion. Unlike Egypt or Mesopotamia, Indus cities lacked overt kingship or large priest-king classes, suggesting decentralized power, perhaps by merchant elites or councils utilizing central communal structures. Effective societal organization for large-scale construction implies governance, though its nature remains unclear. Militarily, direct evidence of armies or warfare is scarce. Fortification walls likely served flood control, not defense. Few weapons suggest a less warlike or expansionist society than Mesopotamia or Egypt, possibly prioritizing internal peace and trade. Its decline stemmed from climate change and socio-economic upheavals, not foreign invasion. Despite its mysterious end, the Indus Valley civilization's legacy is evident in subsequent South Asian cultures. Later, Indian urban planning and hygiene may reflect Harappan influence, though direct intellectual contributions remain unknown due to undeciphered writing. The Indus people, however, were pivotal in cultivating cotton and producing textiles, a significant contribution to global economy and clothing. Undeniably, the Indus Valley set an unparalleled standard for urban sanitation, uniformity, and civic management, with cities featuring meticulous planning, baked brick buildings, sophisticated drainage, and water supply systems, conveniences often absent in later civilizations. While much about their governance and beliefs is unknown, archaeological evidence reveals a prosperous, well-organized society that maintained a high quality of urban life and fostered extensive trade networks. The Indus civilization's scale and uniformity make it among the ancient world's most impressive, yet enigmatic cultures. Chinese civilization emerged along the Yellow and Yangtze rivers. The Shang and Zhou dynasties were foundational periods, establishing Chinese culture, technology, and governance. The Shang developed China's first confirmed writing system, inscribing oracle bones and bronze vessels with the earliest Chinese characters, a system that evolved and endures today. They also created an accurate calendar and sophisticated bronze metallurgy. Elaborate bronze ritual vessels demonstrate their technological skill and complex ritual culture. Their finely decorated cauldrons, weapons, and ornaments were among the world's most advanced. Shang artwork included jade and ceramic, alongside early music and a stratified ancestor worship-centered religion. Politically, the Shang was a monarchy with a stratified aristocracy. The king ruled from various capitals, supported by noble lineage clans. Shang's society was divided among the royal family, warrior nobles, farmers, and slaves. Kings were both war leaders and high priests, making state decisions via recorded oracle bone divination. With chariots and bronze weapons, the Shang dominated Yellow River Plain tribes. The Zhou dynasty succeeded the Shang, 1046 BCE, invoking the mandate of heaven. This concept held that legitimacy derived from divine approval, lost if unjust. Initially united, the Zhou realm became feudal, with kings granting lands to allegiant lords. Zhou authority fragmented, leading to the Spring and Autumn and Warring States periods as regional states fought for supremacy. Despite the turbulence, this era saw significant cultural and intellectual flourishing. Great Chinese philosophers, Confucius, Laozi, emerged, giving rise to Confucianism, Taoism, and legalism. The Zhou period saw flourishing literature and philosophy, establishing many foundational Chinese cultural values. In governance, the Zhou introduced a decentralized feudal system and developed bureaucracy. Their administrative reforms, continued by warring states rulers, paved the way for imperial China, including late Zhou merit-based appointments and written laws. The mandate of heaven concept emerged, linking divine favor to just rule and justifying rebellion against despots, thereby integrating morality and governance into the Chinese worldview. The Zhou period also saw major technological advances. Iron tools and weapons were introduced, boosting agriculture and warfare, and facilitating China's transition to an Iron Age, leading to higher productivity and population growth. The late Zhou also saw the invention of the crossbow, revolutionizing military strategy. Further innovations included standardized coinage and early development of roads and canals for economic integration. The Shang-Zhou period established astronomical and calendrical traditions, enabling eclipse prediction. Zhou codified writing, facilitating classics like the Book of Songs and Documents, laying groundwork for Chinese science and literature. The Zhou solidified core Chinese civilization, continuous literature, Confucian and Taoist philosophies, a unified empire concept, and distinct identity. Its cultural achievements, especially philosophy, influenced East Asia for millennia, forming a lasting cultural sphere viewed as a golden age. Ancient China's legacy is arguably Earth's longest-lived, unbroken to modern times. Shang-originated writing is its oldest continuous system. Zhou political and ethical ideas shaped East Asian governance and values into the 20th century. The Shang and Zhou dynasties laid the bedrock of Chinese civilization, influencing later technological innovations and shaping neighboring cultures like Korea and Japan with their philosophy, writing, and political models. The Shang established writing, a calendar, bronze technology, and statecraft. The Zhou introduced the mandate of heaven, fostering a golden age of literature and philosophy. This era saw technological progress from bronze to iron, improving agriculture and warfare. Ancient China's cultural continuity, philosophical depth, and innovations in governance created an enduring civilizational framework. The foundational Zhou dynasty was so central that later generations regularly studied it as the origin of their civilization, establishing China as one of history's most continuously great civilizations. Ancient Greece profoundly impacted Western civilization culturally and intellectually. They pioneered philosophy. Socrates, Plato, Aristotle laid foundations of Western philosophy and ethics. Drama, Aeschylus, Sophocles, Euripides invented enduring tragic and comic theater. History, art, and science. Homer's Iliad and Odyssey became enduring epic poems. They also originated political theory. Their intellectual curiosity and humanistic inquiry left an unparalleled legacy. Modern education, academic disciplines, Greek language, and classics became cornerstones of learned European culture for millennia. Greece's most famous governance contribution is democracy. In Athens, free male citizens developed the first direct democracy, exercising political power in an assembly, a system still in use today. Ancient Greek self-rule, civic debate, and voting profoundly shaped modern governments. Their political experimentation offered models and warnings still studied, deeply influencing later philosophy. Greek technological and scientific strides were significant. Though not focused on large-scale engineering like Rome or Egypt, their ingenuity manifested widely. They excelled in shipbuilding and navigation, enabling extensive Mediterranean trade and colonization. Euclid and Archimedes founded geometry and engineering principles. Scientists like Aristarchus proposed a heliocentric model before Copernicus, and Eratosthenes calculated Earth's circumference. In medicine, Hippocrates and Galen advanced systematic study, seeking natural causes and setting ethical standards. They also invented devices, water wheel, odometer, primitive steam engines, and geared mechanisms. Ancient Greek innovators developed everyday items like the alarm clock and vending machine. In arts and architecture, Greek achievements set enduring standards. They created the three classical column orders, widely imitated, and structures like the Parthenon exemplified balance, proportion, and harmony, influencing later design. Greek sculpture pioneered lifelike anatomy and movement, becoming the benchmark for beauty and realism. Culturally, the Greeks originated the Olympic Games, an athletic competition celebrating human achievement that endures. This international sports competition concept is a Greek legacy. Militarily, Greek city-states innovated. The phalanx formation of disciplined hoplite soldiers was a powerful tactical unit. Greek armies were legendary for training and bravery. Alexander the Great's 4th century BCE conquests established a vast empire, spreading Greek language and culture from Egypt to India. This led to a fusion of Greek and local cultures, influencing regional art, science, and governance, with Hellenistic cities becoming learning centers. Earlier, Greek mercantile colonies had spread Hellenic influence around the Black Sea and Italy, seeding ideas adopted by Romans. Ancient Greece's legacy includes political ideas like citizenship, republican governance, and trial by jury. Culturally, Western literature and drama originated with Greek masterpieces, yielding terms like epic, lyric, tragedy, comedy, philosophy, academy. Greek classics centered the Western curriculum for centuries. Greek scientific rationalism pioneered the scientific method. These achievements exerted unparalleled influence on Western civilization, inspiring millennia of artists and thinkers. Many English words come from Greek. Ancient Greece, a relatively small civilization, became the bedrock of Western culture. Its unmatched cultural and intellectual legacy, from democracy and civic governance to seminal works in philosophy, literature, art, and science, profoundly shaped subsequent history. The Greeks also conceived humanistic values. Militarily, figures like Alexander spread Hellenic culture far and wide, establishing the Hellenic Age that bridged East and West. Their enduring influence makes them arguably the greatest ancient civilization. The Achaemenid Persian Empire, founded by Cyrus the Great, became the ancient world's largest, spanning 3 continents, from the Indus Valley to Egypt and Thrace. It was history's first true superpower, distinguished by enlightened governance and a multicultural approach. Its innovative administration divided the vast realm into satrapies, effectively blending local autonomy with central oversight via royal inspectors. Standardized laws and a single official language further unified diverse peoples. Achaemenid rule was renowned for its tolerance and inclusivity. Cyrus the Great's charter famously proclaimed religious freedom and repatriated displaced peoples. Rather than imposing their own culture, Persians respected local customs and religions, offering a generally liberal rule for conquered peoples. The Persian Empire's policy of tolerance and cultural fusion ensured stability across a vast, diverse realm, setting a precedent for governance valued for justice and order. Technologically and economically, Persians made significant contributions. They built the 2,400-kilometer Royal Road connecting Susa to Sardis, facilitating rapid communication and trade via a horse relay postal system admired even by Herodotus. Standardized coinage simplified commerce, and investments in irrigation and agriculture supported a large population. In governance, the Persians created an efficient bureaucratic state, a structured, hierarchical, and accountable administration with multilingual record-keeping. This imperial system became a template for managing diverse lands in future empires. The King of Kings' universal law, allowing local variation, balanced unity and diversity. Persian armies were formidable, fielding the classical period's largest forces, including the 10,000 elite immortals. They pioneered long-distance logistics, effectively deploying infantry, cavalry, and a strong navy. Despite losses, Persia conquered Babylon, Egypt, and Lydia, building an unprecedented empire. Conflicts with Greece indirectly spurred Greek unity and Athens' Golden Age, influencing Western history. Culturally, grand Persian cities like Persepolis and Susa featured monumental palaces and relief sculptures in a remarkably unified style, combining diverse imperial elements. This art and architecture influenced later Islamic and Central Asian styles. Zoroastrianism, the Persian religion, influenced later major religions with concepts like angels, monotheism, and final judgment. The Achaemenid Persians' legacy is defined by their governance of vast, diverse territories with cultural tolerance and robust infrastructure, influencing future empires from Rome to Islamic caliphates. The ideal of a strong, just king in the Middle East and Central Asia stems from Persian tradition. Even after Alexander, succeeding Hellenistic and Parthian rulers retained Persian institutions. Their emphasis on cultural harmony and unity in diversity remains an ideal. Though Western views focused on Persian antagonism defining Greek identity, the cultures later syncretized. The Achaemenid Empire's unprecedented scale, sophisticated governance, and enlightened policies made it the ancient world's first superpower. Admired for its advanced administration and architectural wonders, Persians built roads, established a postal system, standardized coinage, and ran an efficient bureaucracy. The Persian Empire was multicultural yet cohesive, valuing tolerance, Cyrus's decrees. Its monumental capitals and administrative excellence set the standard for future empires. It bridged East and West, demonstrating enduring ideals of governance and human rights. Ancient Rome evolved from a city-state into a colossal Mediterranean empire, stretching at its height from Britain to Mesopotamia and the Rhine to the Sahara, ruling 60 to 100 million people. Master empire builders, their disciplined legions and strategic acumen enabled conquest of diverse peoples, engineering forts, siege works, and roads. Rome's conquests and Pax Romana fostered trade, culture, and ideas under imperial protection. Rome's greatest legacies are its systems of law and governance. Romans developed legal codes, e.g., Roman law, Justinian's Corpus Juris Civilis, that influenced many modern systems. Roman contributions include innocent until proven guilty, equality before law, and legal contracts. Their republican model, with separated government branches, created checks and balances against tyranny. This model deeply inspired modern democratic republics. Romans maintained efficient administration, provincial governance, a census, taxation, and uniform laws ensured imperial coherence. By 212 CE, Rome granted universal citizenship to all free inhabitants, widely spreading Roman law and privileges. Romans were extraordinary engineers. Their enduring infrastructure included a network of all-weather roads, literally centering on Rome. Aqueducts carried fresh water to cities, enabling large urban populations and public baths. Many still stand or function today. They pioneered concrete for massive structures like the Pantheon's dome and multi-story apartment buildings. Buildings like the Colosseum, amphitheaters, basilicas, and triumphal arches showcased architectural skill and served societal purposes. These constructions improved quality of life, fostering stability and economic integration. Culturally, Romans absorbed and transmitted Greek art, literature, and philosophy across their empire. Latin literature produced epic poets like Virgil, lyricists like Horace, historians like Livy and Tacitus, and philosophers like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius. Latin fathered the Romance languages, heavily influenced English, and remained educated Europe's lingua franca for over a millennium. Romans also spread Greco-Roman culture across Europe, forming the common cultural foundation for European civilization. Religion was another monumental Roman legacy. Christianity arose and spread within its borders, its adoption by Rome ensuring its dominant role in world history. The Roman church structure mirrored and inherited imperial organization. Socially, Rome fostered a uniquely cosmopolitan society where people from Spain to Syria could become citizens. Roman cities, Rome, Alexandria, Antioch, Carthage, were diverse melting pots, unified by law and roads. Urbanization, with amenities, baths, theaters, forums, amphitheaters, fostered a common lifestyle. Advanced urban management, apartment blocks, sanitation, police, fire services foreshadowed modern cities. Rome's immense global legacy influenced European political thought for centuries. Roman law underpins global legal codes. Latin became the language of learning and liturgy. Roman architecture shaped Renaissance and neoclassical styles, seen in countless global capital buildings and institutions. Roman road building and municipal planning underpin modern infrastructure. Even the calendar, alphabet, and coinage are Roman contributions. In governance, Republican Rome's separation of powers influenced modern constitutions. Terms like Senate and Republic are Roman. Rome's greatness stems from its scale, longevity, and transformative legacy. Its empire set the template for governance, law, engineering, and urbanization. Unmatched militarily, Romans expertly disseminated culture and technology, leaving enduring infrastructure and a cultural linguistic legacy foundational to Western civilization. From the Republic's checks and balances and its civil rights concepts, to the empire's universal citizenship and rule of law, Rome's ideas continue to shape our political and legal systems. Few civilizations influence the modern world as profoundly as Rome. The Olmec civilization, Mesoamerica's mother culture, pioneered many innovations despite lacking extensive written records. Their influence profoundly shaped successor cultures like the Maya and Aztec. Olmecs are renowned for colossal head sculptures, enormous basalt heads with individualized features and helmet-like headdresses, likely depicting rulers. Their scale and artistry attest to a powerful, organized society capable of mobilizing resources and talent. Olmec artisans also produced delicate jade carvings, pottery, and figurines, showcasing a rich artistic tradition. Crucially, the Olmecs developed early forms of writing and a calendar system that laid the groundwork for later Mesoamerican civilizations. They left glyphs on monuments, considered the earliest Mesoamerican writing. They also formulated the long count calendar, or at least nascent forms of the 260-day ritual and 365-day solar calendars. Additionally, they invented a number system and standardized symbols, an intellectual feat greatly influencing the region. The Olmecs pioneered zero, a calendar, and hieroglyphic writing, remarkable for their ancient origins. Olmec society established cities, ceremonial centers like San Lorenzo, La Venta with earthen pyramids, and Tres Zapotes. Urban organization and stratified classes suggest central authority. Massive head statues and offerings indicate veneration of rulers, deities, and complex rituals. Olmec motifs influenced later Mesoamerican mythologies. Bloodletting was practiced, and they pioneered the ceremonial ball game, central to Mesoamerica, evidenced by rubber balls / depictions. Their influence is evident. The Olmec economy was based on agriculture, supplemented by fishing and trade. The Olmecs likely formed Mesoamerica's first widespread trade networks, evidenced by artifacts, jade, obsidian, ceramics, found far from their core. They also processed local rubber for balls and early use of latex. Little is known about Olmec governance, but large coordinated projects imply strong, centralized leadership, possibly kings who were also religious leaders. Colossal heads may portray these rulers, suggesting veneration. The elite likely controlled luxury goods and legitimizing religious rituals. Olmec legacy is significant despite a sparse archaeological record. Later civilizations, Maya, Zapotec, Aztec, inherited their culture. Writing, calendars, pyramid temples, and city layouts trace to Olmecs. Their deities likely prototyped later pantheons. Aztecs, 2,000 years later, had legends of a mother culture. Both they and Mayans revered the Gulf Coast as ancestral. Scholars often dub the Olmecs the mother culture of Mesoamerica, as they laid foundations for later societies like the Maya and Aztecs. Their innovations include early writing, numerical systems, the ball game, and possibly monumental rulership and a calendar. Though the Olmecs vanished around 400 BCE, their profound influence persisted. Their art style remains iconic. Functioning as a catalyst for rapid advancement, similar to Sumer in the Near East, the Olmecs also demonstrated strong governance and artistic achievement through colossal sculptures and ceremonial centers. The Olmecs' greatness stems from innovation and influence. As Mesoamerica's mother culture, they set the stage for spectacular societies. The Maya civilization flourished across the Yucatan Peninsula, Guatemala, Belize, and Honduras. Known for its achievements in writing, mathematics, astronomy, and architecture. They developed the most advanced pre-Columbian writing system, a logosyllabic script with hundreds of glyphs, recording history, mythology, and daily life. Inscriptions on stelae, temple walls, and codices preserved dynastic histories and complex calendrical and astronomical data. In mathematics, the Maya independently developed zero and a vigesimal numeral system centuries before the Old World. Integrated with astronomy, this led to incredibly precise calendar systems. Their remarkably precise calendars, including the long count and calendar round, calculated the solar year at roughly 365.242 days, comparable to modern measurements. The long count famously reset on December 21, 2012, demonstrating their calendrical sophistication. Astronomically, the Maya were skilled observers. They predicted solar eclipses and tracked planets like Venus accurately. Maya city layouts and pyramid temples align to celestial events. Chichen Itza's El Castillo, for instance, features a serpent shadow illusion on equinoxes, demonstrating intentional design for practical and religious uses. Architecturally, Maya city centers featured stepped pyramids, palaces, ball courts, and carved monuments. Cities like Tikal, Palenque, Copan, and Calakmul boasted pyramids over 60 meters. Their advanced engineering included corbelled arch roofs, multi-room structures, and, in some places, running water. Maya art was highly detailed and narrative, often with hieroglyphic text. Screenfold books, though mostly destroyed, reveal sophisticated knowledge in astronomy and rituals. Maya governance organized as city-states ruled by kings. These city-states often allied or fought, with rivalries like Tikal versus Calakmul lasting centuries. Despite political fragmentation, a common culture and intellectual tradition unified the region. Maya society was hierarchical: nobility, commoners, farmers/laborers, and captives, slaves/sacrifice victims. Rulers legitimized power via elaborate rituals, bloodletting, and arts sciences patronage. Though not a unified empire, Maya city-states experienced periods of hegemony. Warfare was frequent, often for dominance or sacrificial victims. Late classic fortifications underscore its importance. Beyond astronomy, Maya excelled in agriculture and environmental adaptation. They practiced slash-and-burn farming, also terraced and raised fields in swampy areas, and used reservoirs for dry-season water management. Artisanal crafts included textiles, jade, obsidian blades, and rubber products. Their enduring legacy includes cities, once jungle-swallowed, now UNESCO World Heritage Sites that awe visitors. Deciphered Maya script allows direct access to their history and worldview. Their ancient cultural influence spread widely. Intellectually, the Maya were exceptional among ancient civilizations. Unlike the unwritten history of the Inca, Maya glyphs allow them to speak directly. Millions of Maya people in Mesoamerica preserve their language and traditions, a unique living legacy, as most ancient civilizations disappeared or were assimilated. Modern Maya communities still reflect ancient calendar and cosmology practices. Intellectually and artistically, the Maya were brilliant. They developed the Western Hemisphere's most advanced writing, alongside remarkable strides in mathematics and astronomy. Their city-states built magnificent pyramids and observatories, attuned to celestial cycles. Their rich inscriptions and codices provide detailed records of dynastic history and scientific knowledge. Though never politically unified, they achieved greatness in statecraft, engineering, and art. The Maya legacy endures in their ruins, deciphered texts, and living culture. Their civilization, among the ancient world's most accomplished, is often considered pre-Columbian America's greatest for its knowledge and aesthetics. With profiles completed, we now turn to a comparative overview. Each society excelled in different domains, making greatness multifaceted. Comparative tables summarize key achievements: cultural, technological, political, followed by analysis highlighting category leaders. Each civilization achieved greatness in distinct ways. We compare them by category to identify leaders in each domain. Cultural influence and intellectual legacy. Ancient Greece and Rome led the Old World, the Maya the New. Greece profoundly shaped Western thought through philosophy, literature, and art. Rome, inheriting Greek knowledge, amplified it via law and statecraft, spreading Greco-Roman culture across Europe and defining the West. In Asia, China, especially Zhou era, produced enduring philosophies and established cultural continuity, influencing modern East Asia. Greece and China were peers in rich written traditions and philosophical discourse. The Maya showcased pre-Columbian intellectual prowess with their writing, scientific calendars, and mythology. Technological and scientific advancement. Rome and China were practical innovators, Rome in civil engineering and China in a range of inventions. Mesopotamia provided crucial foundations: the wheel, writing, and basic mathematics, pioneering urban technology and record-keeping for all successors. While later civilizations like the Indus Valley, urban sanitation, and Rome, concrete engineering, practical innovations, often built upon and exceeded these origins, their advancements relied on this early groundwork. The Maya excelled in abstract science, and Greece in theoretical science, laying conceptual groundwork others applied. In summary, Mesopotamia pioneered basic technologies. China and Rome excelled in practical innovations, Greece and Maya in scientific knowledge. For governance and political organization, Rome typically stands out. Its republic's constitution and empire's administrative unity influenced countless polities. Roman law and institutions directly inspire modern systems. Persia pioneered an efficient multi-ethnic empire, its federal structure and tolerance modeling later ones. China developed the mandate of heaven and early bureaucratic meritocracy, foundational to millennia of East Asian governance. Greece introduced radical democracy, a concept foundational to modern governance despite limitations. Each offered distinct greatness: Persia for imperial management, Rome for legal durability, China for ethical rule, Greece for participatory governance. Defining the greatest is subjective, relying on values like justice, Rome, benevolent rule, Persia, participatory politics, Athens, or stable bureaucracy, China. Rome and Persia built the largest empires. Rome's military proved centuries effective, conquering vast territory with minimal revolt. Persia's unprecedented scale pre-Alexander ultimately fell. Here's a shortened version of the text, aiming for conciseness while preserving all factual information and the original tone. Military prowess. Alexander's vast, short-lived Greek-Macedonian Empire established him as a top commander. China's warring states developed advanced military theory, Its Qin-Han empires later rivaled Rome in territory, despite ongoing heartland consolidation. Maya and Greek city-states, lacking central empires, possessed formidable contextual militaries. 7th century BCE Assyria was its era's most militaristic, the Rome of the early Iron Age. Rome often tops greatest for longevity. However, Mongols' rapid conquests challenge military might as the sole measure of greatness. Social organization and quality of life. Indus Valley cities suggest relative equality and advanced urban amenities, potentially indicating high average living standards. Rome offered citizens security, roads, and prosperity, but also sharp stratification and slavery. China's Confucian social order fostered a stable, family-centered society, though hierarchical and patriarchal. Egypt maintained millennia of social stability where common people thrived. Societies varied. Greece and Rome offered mobility but also vast inequality. No ancient society met modern standards of greatness for all, given universal slavery, class systems, and limited rights. However, Persian rule was often seen as benevolent, and Rome uniquely integrated conquered peoples by extending citizenship. Social greatness is difficult to quantify. Regarding long-term legacy as greatness's ultimate yardstick, Mesopotamia pioneered writing, laws, and cities. Egypt influenced Greek and Western art and thought. China boasts an ongoing, continuous civilization. Greece's profound intellectual legacy in philosophy, politics, and science kick-started the European intellectual tradition. Rome's legacy, law, language, architecture, state Christianity profoundly shaped the Western world and beyond. In Mesoamerica, the Maya calendar and astronomy, along with Olmec foundational culture, influenced all subsequent Latin American civilizations. Indigenous Maya communities preserve this heritage. Globally, Rome and Greece are top for the West, China for the East. Mesopotamia and Egypt remain crucial ancient foundations, indirectly shaping later cultures. Persia's ethos of tolerance and its East-West geopolitical bridging also resonate. This is ultimately subjective, depending on criteria valued. Longevity and stability favor ancient Egypt or China. Classical Greece birthed Western philosophy, democracy, and drama, demonstrating intellectual and cultural flowering. Rome's power and governance fundamentally altered Europe, North Africa, the Near East, and its legal concepts underpin modern states. For foundational firsts, Mesopotamia as the cradle is crucial. Without Sumerian writing, civilization wouldn't exist. In the New World, the Maya excelled scientifically and artistically, marking them pre-Columbian America's greatest. Given these nuances, historians often refrain from declaring an absolute number one civilization. Each excelled in specific areas, laying essential human foundations. Each civilization excelled uniquely. Mesopotamia, pioneering civilization. Egypt, monumental longevity. Indus, urban sanitation. China, continuous philosophical tradition. Greece, philosophy/arts. Persia, enlightened imperial administration. Rome, law/empire building. Olmec, Mesoamerica's mother culture. And Maya, pre-modern American science/writing. No single greatest ancient civilization exists. Multispectral evaluation highlights Greco-Roman and Chinese civilizations as globally influential, and Mesopotamian and Egyptian as foundational. Greatness depends on chosen criteria. This analysis underscores human civilization as a cumulative endeavor. Each achieved remarkable feats, their collective heritage forming antiquity's greatness that informs our world today.